Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. Today we're taking a look at a smaller scale indie fighting game called Sclash. Not everything has to be, the big games like Tekken and Street Fighter, right? It's been out for a bit on PC and only just recently came out on console. And if you're a fan of older school games like, say, Bushido Blade, this is very much similar, although with a very unique art style, in that this is very much a one-hit, one-kill kind of game. And even though everyone I know likes these kind of games, obviously they're not more traditional fighters with meters and all that kind of stuff, they're not all too common. The last one would have been a few years ago with like Hellish Court. And it's an interesting and simple enough premise. You have characters. The characters are mostly just for the aesthetics. And you can also change your character's mask and weapons. And on that front, by the way, there is a whole slew of unlockables as well. So if you like your customization, hey, well, you're not hurting for options. But yeah, it's just a core, fun, simplistic game that rewards all the traditional fighting game concepts of spacings, footsies, neutral, all that kind of stuff. Although obviously with a very devastating finale, because one hit is one kill, right? Game on Steam and on PSN retails for about like 10-ish bucks Canadian, so maybe a little bit less than American. And, well, hey, let's talk about the core mechanics. So everything at the core of the game is the one-hit, one-kill concept. And usually, by default anyways, the games are set to whoever wins 5 rounds first. And yeah, there's parries, there's stamina meters, all that kind of stuff. Because, you got to have some gameplay systems to work with, right? But yeah, it's all at the core of just if you tag them at all, you win. Things like parries and dodges exist, they're good, but they're all heavily timing-based mechanics. There's no just down backing and blocking or anything like that. So the core is if you hit the opponent, they die. Simple enough, right? And how do we play around with extra mechanics? So one, if you want to go for, bigger swings, big swings, they take stamina, but big swings, held swings, also guard break if someone parries it. So then they lose stamina instead of gaining stamina. Basically, almost every action you can do in the game besides like the most basic attack takes stamina some way, shape, or form. And if you run out of stamina, you can't defend yourself in any way. And that means you're probably going to die because you're going to get hit. You can't dodge, you can't parry, you can't do anything like that. Dodge? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory, honestly. There is actually some level of invincibility frames. Anytime your character becomes like mildly intangible, that means you are invincible. And so you can dodge away from or through attacks sometimes. You can actually dodge through an attack and hit someone on their back. And if they are, as far as I can tell, hit from the back, there's no way to defend against it. You can also dodge multiple times in a row, although that really drains the stamina. Also draining the stamina, there's like a dedicated punch button. For this character, the big samurai, it's a stomp, but it's all effectively the same deal. If you hit someone out of an attack with your like kind of dedicated punch, you'll basically turbo drain their stamina. So this is much faster than your basic swing. So normally whoever swings first wins, right? Or at the very least you clash and kind of reset. But if you manage to like sucker punch them, you'll drain their stamina and then their ability to dodge out or parry or whatever gets heavily curtailed and removed basically. Like certainly this is no Street Fighter 6 as far as like the gameplay mechanics go, right? It's not that in-depth, nor is it meant to be. This is the kind of game where you play with a friend, you get the read on them, and you get in their head, and then you just kind of go from there. Basically, it's a really good, party game, as it were, right? And fighting games don't always have to be multi-million-dollar projects, and that's what I love about the genre. You can find a lot of things. I was actually surprised there is a proper story mode, and also in the beginning doubles as the tutorial as well. But, you have samurai culture, there's a quest for revenge, all the kind of things you would expect, as, your samurai stories go anyways. And, that's a nice little added bonus considering the scale of the game. Once again, this is very much a budget game. It won't take you forever. It maybe lasts you like an hour-ish, depending on how much the bosses tool you around anyways, because some of the bosses are kind of hard. Once again, as a one-hit, one-kill game, that makes mistakes very unforgiving. Aesthetically, the game actually is really cool. It has a great look to it, and the story mode does really highlight it well, with some really fantastic transitions. The game is certainly very pretty, if nothing else. And all the real standout looker locations also double as the stages you're allowed to use in the game, right? So that's kind of just a bonus right there. It's not exactly God of War or nothing, right? Like, It's just a fun little diversion, I suppose, but it's worth your time to look through if you do want to try out and check out the game. As far as multiplayer, there is online through Steam. I did play the Steam version. I didn't get to play the console version. But there is online play. There's obviously local play. I think it's probably the best way to enjoy the game, because this kind of game just leads itself to like two people just kind of screwing around and having fun. The overall mechanics are somewhat simplistic, but as they currently stand, they just lead to both, very powerful mind games and also really test of a reaction, right? Like here, I'm just trying to walk down a mug at the person, just like parry over and over and over, and then I got a little too full of myself, and then I got stabbed and I lost, right? This game is a really good test of if you think your reactions are all that. But it's very simplistic mechanics. Once again, there's basic attacks, there's charge attacks, parries beat base attacks, parries sort of lose. Like, you'll still block a power attack, but you'll sort of lose a lot of stamina. There's dodging. There's a lot of ways like gain iframes through the dodge and try to sneak through an attack, all that kind of stuff. The stamina feature leads to most of the options in the game, and if you run out of stamina, you're done. Like, you can't defend yourself in any way, and you're going to lose, right? And little things like the punch mechanic, where you can sucker punch someone right before they hit, drains a lot of stamina, can create a lot of fun situations exactly like that. So in the end, it's a fun experience. Once again, it's not the most in-depth, but it is a smaller scale game. Once again, this is a budget game relatively, but it's also fun for what it is. It offers an experience that's rare in modern fighting games, in the, the one-hit, one-kill samurai style, flavor. Also, it's incredibly easy just to pick up and play. Just going in the verses is super snappy. Like, you just pick characters and you just go right into the fight. There is the additional story mode, which once again isn't long, but it's just an extra value add for what the game is. But yeah, as a value proposition, you definitely get bang for your buck, I would say. I think that's very fair. And once again, I think this is just a really fun mess around game, and especially for like local play. Pop it up on your laptop and two people can just have a lot of fun messing around. Doubly so, these styles of games are really good to tricking people into playing fighting games, right? You don't gotta be a grizzled Guilty Gear vet or whatever to get some fun out of this. Anyone can kind of pick up and play. Since it's really easy to understand and just kind of pick up, I know a lot of people get intimidated by more traditional fighting games, so it's a good way to wean someone in. So it is out on Steam. It is freshly out on console. So if it sounds interesting, check it out. And other than that, well, that is the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and try some Sclash.
Love making